Welcome back to Senior Savvy Cannabis. I'm Catherine Goldberg. Recently, I made a video saying that dispensary weed has gotten pretty bad. And a lot of you guys agreed, and a lot of you guys offered a suggestion. Welcome, Jake from NoTillKings, a cannabis brand in California. The comments I got was yes, dispensary weed has gotten really, really bad, but there's this one brand who's doing it right. Can you tell me what is not going well with these other brands and what you guys are doing differently?
Absolutely. And just to intro myself, my name is Jake. Our company is called NoTillKings. We're a licensed cultivation facility in Long Beach, California. And we cultivate exclusively in living soil. And we are also OCAL certified. We were the first indoor farm to become OCAL certified, which is California's organic equivalent in cannabis, because we can't be USDA organic because of the restriction, with legalization. So we are OCAL certified, which is the comparable to organic program. And, the thing with quality is it's just so tough. And I say it all the time to our people, we're only as good as our last harvest.
Hmm.
And that is the honest truth. And the tough thing when you're cultivating cannabis at scale is keeping that quality. And it's just a lot of work. And if you are going to have any chance of trying to keep the quality on a large scale, it takes a tremendous amount of work, almost an exponential amount of work than it does on a small scale.
Interesting. Okay. Um, can you explain living soil?
Absolutely. So our soil is completely alive. There's worms, there's microorganisms, there's beneficial bacteria, beneficial fungi. There's all of this life inside the soil that is working together. And so traditional indoor cannabis cultivation has been farmed hydroponically, where people are feeding salt-based nutrients into like a rock wall cube,
Hmm.
which is just a grow media. And living soil cultivation has been around forever. It is how, nature has grown for millennia. But indoor farming has kind of gotten away from it. And we saw this come back, maybe 10, 15 years ago as we just have seen this industry evolve. We've seen more people getting into living soil cultivation. And what it's really about is creating this like thriving ecosystem where everything is working together: the microbes, the fungi, the beneficial insects, and the beneficial like all of the other beneficials that are in the soil. They're all working together. And so it's one of those things that, as we have grown over the past 5 years, like cultivating under our license, we've been using the same soil in two of our rooms, when we built our other two rooms, same thing. So for 3 years we've been using the same soil, and for 5 years we've been using the same soil. And it's one of those things where if we amend it and we continue to work at it and help it thrive, it gets better.
This is fascinating. Oh, no, I bet there's like a whole science of living soil on its own.
Oh, there absolutely is.
Are you able to use fewer pesticides or different pesticides because you're growing in living soil?
Absolutely. So we don't really use like pesticides, I would say. Like the way that we handle, like let's say we have fungus gnats. The way that we'll handle that is by putting in nematodes. So those are like a microscopic beneficial insect that'll go and basically eat the larvae of the fungus gnat. And now we also use botanical tinctures from Mountain Organics that have like a little bit of neem oil, karanja, other like essential oils from plants. And that's what we foliar spray. So we're not spraying anything that's like a quote like a pesticide. We're only using like natural oils or like plant tonics to spray the plants. And then to handle like physical issues like bugs or something like that, we're trying to combat that with beneficial insects.
Fascinating. If you were to have a blind smoke taste test and you tried some cannabis that was grown the old fashioned way, maybe hydro with whatever pesticides and nutrients they're using, and then you tried living soil. Um, is it night and day? Is it like not even in the same universe? How do you describe the, because people might say it's cannabis. Like, yeah, I get it.
Right.
Like philosophically, this is great, but like I want the cheapest thing on the shelf, which is probably,
Right.
so how do you, because I tried homegrown for the first time after buying cannabis in dispensaries for years. And honestly, the first thing I said was, I have been smoking garbage dipped in poison, and I'm not buying the cheap stuff. So my eyes have been opened up to this idea of doing it a bit differently. So what's the effect? Is it the harshness? Is it how it burns? Is it more than that?
I think it's a combination of a bunch of things that, the plant, when we're farming in living soil, like we're trying to grow the plant to its optimum, maturity level and then harvest it at the right time. And we're trying to provide the soil with all of the nutrients that it needs so that the plant can uptake through the roots and like through the microbes in the soil that are fixing nutrients. We're trying to get that plant to grow to its optimum potential. And what I see is, yes, the quality is absolutely better. If, to your question, if there was a blind taste test of one jar of the same strain per se, it's like I would hope I would, be able to tell the difference or look. And it's like, and that's sometimes the nuance of top tier flower. When things are grown really well in any type of grow media, whether it's hydro or in living soil, those nuances, you have to know what you're looking for. Some things come it down to like the flower density and like the actual size and structure of the flower and how it grows. That can change based off the grow media. I have seen that before where some flower that is grown hydro, it can have a different look oftentimes.
Hmm.
So there is that, that I'm kind of well versed in seeing, but it's something that I think, you know, a regular smoker can absolutely tell the difference if we say, hey, this was farmed in living soil
Hmm.
and this was not. And then they look at them and then they try them and smoke them. But I think that education needs to kind of get out there a lot more.
It seems like there are a lot of people who are interested in the science of like getting high and growing fabulous weed. So, the more I think we talk about this, the more confident people will feel to make these decisions on their own to find the absolute best cannabis they can. Let's talk about terpenes. Um, I want to know about your drying and if you cure, because I've heard a lot of kind of these mass grows don't really take a lot of time into their curing process, so the terpenes can't develop. Um, I also want to know, is it a rumor that people spray terpenes onto flour? And this is my last question. If you need me to repeat this, I can. Sorry, I
No,
get
no, all
excited
good.
about terpenes. We can nerd out together all day. My personal philosophy is that terpenes very much determine the effects of cannabis. I am out for my sativa. We can talk about why sativa might not be the best word ever, but if myrcene is listed as the first or second terpene, it's not going to be the sativa for me. So I want to know, people comment and they say terpenes are bro science. And please never use that phrase. It's so annoying. It's bro science. It doesn't actually have any effects. It comes down to cannabinoids and minor cannabinoids. I'm going to say it's both with an emphasis on terpenes. Where do you fall in this debate?
Yeah, uh I think it's a combination of everything and how the plant affects you. And I think that, the terpenes are in combination with the overall cannabinoids and like the plant material itself are responsible for like the smell and the taste and the aroma of the plant. And that can have a lot of an effect on how you feel. Like I personally like to smoke OG. I also like sativas, but like for example, we're talking about our Durban poison. That strain affects me way differently than like our SFV. And I smoke a lot of OG. That's what I like to smoke, and I like that terp profile. I like that smell. I think that it's all important. And I wouldn't say that it's like there's one super emphasis on one thing. And like you may have, certain strains that have different dominant terpenes, but they both affect you similarly. Because it could have this other combination of, the cannabinoids and just the ratio of cannabinoids to THC. And so, I think it's still something that is being looked at, but it's something that I feel like you can have like the science looking at the terpenes, right? And then you also have the experiential effect that people who are using cannabis either medicinally or recreationally are experiencing. And there's not enough of this it's not enough like put together right now, you know what I mean?
I appreciate
So
that answer. I
yeah, so I think it's interesting. And then to your second question about spraying terpenes, that is absolutely a thing. I've never actually seen like a sprayed pack. I know that in New York it's very popular and that like it's almost more preferred than normal weed, which is crazy in my opinion. Um, but yeah, so it's not good. I don't condone it, agree with it. I've never actually like seen one personally, but I've heard they smell intense. And
what does
yeah,
your weed generally speaking, are we looking at terps in the 1 to 2% range?
we've had terps from 1 to like 3.5%, as high as like over 4%.
Wild.
Yeah.
Amazing. Um, let's talk about your genetics for a second. Just this Durban poison. It seems like there are a lot of different Durban poisons. Um,
Yeah. So yeah, yeah.
how is that process played out within No Till Kings?
Yeah, so there's, with genetics in general, there's a lot of like famous strains, right? And a lot of those famous strains there's like an original clone that was that particular phenotype of the famous strain.
Hmm.
And for our Durban poison, for example, we actually hunted seeds of Durban poison, and we found a pheno that I think is closely resembles like the smell and taste of Durban poison. It's not the original clone, but we do have some original clones like the J1, the Blue Dream, things like that. And then a lot of other stuff that we've hunted from seed, like our Mimosa, bred by Symbiotic Genetics. We hunted that from seed. So that's a unique phenotype that we have. And we've got quite a few other strains that we have hunted from seed. So those are unique phenotypes to us. And then also some clones that we've acquired over the years.
That's so cool. Um, besides the Durban poison, what are other popular sativas or energizing strains that you guys offer? I know I
Yeah.
always thought I was in the minority preferring sativas. Everyone's like, you're smoking a joint. Like, don't you want the exact opposite effect? And like, I like my espresso and I like my weed. So
Yeah.
what are popular sativas that you've noticed people gravitating towards?
Yeah. So, I mean, our Durban poison was super popular. We've slowed it down a bit. The White Widow has been super popular. The Jack the Ripper, this new strain Jackapulco that we've been running, super fire. It's like a strong sativa, really,
Can,
really strong.
is it a combination of Jack and Acapulco? Is that what
It's
it's called?
J1, and then it's times strain two, which is a cross of Acapulco Gold times the one.
Wild.
Yeah, and it's really cool. It's this like get like musky jack, like it's super gassy, but it's this like jack forward sativa, and it's a strong high testing sativa too. And that one's really fire. The J1 is a great sativa as well. Our lemon banana sherb is a hybrid and it's a very popular strain. But yeah, we're always on the hunt, and we've been actively trying to bring back a lot of older stuff and look for new sativas and things that the market doesn't have.
Yeah, what is your philosophy when it comes to cannabis and just being in this industry and being, it seems like you guys are different than a lot of the other major companies. Um, what's the philosophy behind it?
Yeah, I would say for us, we've always been about quality, and that is truly what we're about. We're a really small team. We're owner operated. I personally built our facility like from the ground up, and we're truly trying to put out the best quality flower that we can at the time that we put it out. And it's just a constant effort, and that's what it truly takes. It's like we're farming this product, and it's something that truly takes constant work every round to put out the quality that we're trying to put out.
I appreciate. Are you guys, do you hand trim?
Absolutely. Yeah, everything gets hand trimmed. Yep.
Okay. I heard that there's a process that some of these larger grows will use that if the process is done and there's some mold on it, I think it's called like irradiated. Is that it? They can irradiate it. They like spray it with gamma waves. So to kill off the mold, and it also like kind of diminishes the terpenes.
Right. Yeah. I've heard about what you're talking about. I'm not well versed in it. We've never
It's not something you guys do.
No, no, it's not something that we do. We try to prevent mold in the first place, and thankfully, knock on wood, we do. But if there is ever an issue and we ever see any type of mold, we're never going to put that out in flower. Yeah. So it's just like we're
Thank you.
100% quality first.
Wow.
But the way that you inhibit mold and powdery mildew and all these things is by having the growing environment be at the right temperatures and humidities and the right airflow, so that you don't run into any of those problems, and then drying it properly, and then getting it trimmed and cured and stored at the right temperatures and humidities.
This is fantastic. I think a lot of people were sort of split, where they want to get weed the legal way, but they want to get the products they want, and not everyone knows a farmer, or not everyone can grow their own. So it
Right.
really seems like you guys are the solution here. That you're not cutting any. It's as close. It reminds me of like farm to table food. Like you're getting as close to the farm and the farmers and the authentic process as you can. There are too many steps in between you guys and me smoking it, for example.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, we're trying to get it to like that, and that is the challenge. We obviously it has to be sold through dispensaries, and we're trying to, we wish there was a model where we could try to connect, closer with the customer at like a farmer's market. Maybe that will happen one day. But yeah, that's what we are truly all about. And we're trying to put out the best quality flower that we can. And we put out a lot of education online as well, like on our YouTube, about how to grow, for people that want to try to grow at home. And we always encourage that, for anyone that loves cannabis, we always encourage them to try to grow this plant, to see if they either like growing it, or, just to see the process and see kind of how much work goes into actually getting the flower to where it is, to
It
be
makes you
consumed.
appreciate the process so much more.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Jake. I'm so excited to try all the sativas you guys offer. Where do you grow out of?
We're in Long Beach, California.
Fabulous. Okay, cool. Wonderful. Um,
Yeah.
is there anything else that you want potential customers to know about you guys, or about just how you think cannabis is going to evolve over the next decade?
Yeah, I think, it's a industry that's going to take many, many years, possibly many decades, to kind of evolve and unfold. And it's just, we're in this very beginning time. The regulations are going to take many, many years to either potentially get better or not. That's kind of the unknown. And that kind of is the challenge. And that's where, hopefully we're around to see it, but it's like large groups are trying to see how long can companies hold on to before the market changes. And it might take 20 years, and then things may get better, hopefully, in terms of the regulation, in terms of the zoning, and just across the states, or potentially interstate commerce or international commerce. But all of those things may take many, many, many years, and most companies don't survive that long. So hopefully, we can stay in our own lane. We're dedicated to putting out the best quality flower that we can. And we're trying to, stay putting out what connoisseurs want to smoke and what people that really want quality products, even if they're not even if they're not a connoisseur, they just want something that is comparable to organic, that is, quality that they can trust. That's truly what we're, like what we're dedicated to. And I think our flower kind of shows that anyone can enjoy it, from someone that, might be trying it for the first time to somebody that is smoking every day.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Jake. It was absolutely a pleasure talking to you and learning from you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us on. We really appreciate it.
Thanks. Okay, that was great. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I love your philosophy and how you approach it, and like you guys are just doing it right.
Thank you. I
And
really
it
appreciate
seems
that.
like you love weed as much as I love weed. Like weed's the best.
100%. Yeah, it is. And it's like, it's just hard. The legal market is hard.
I know, and I feel so bad telling people to find a farmer, but I found a farmer and my life is it's a lot easier, but it's a
Right. And that's
balance.
the challenge. And that's what, we sit, yeah, like, and that is the challenge. And that's why I don't like to harp on it forever because it sounds so like sad and down, but it's like the regulations are so tough.
Yeah.
And then like the taxes are so high. Excise tax just went up again.
Yeah,
And it's like,
what are they thinking?
it's crazy. And it's like, it's absolutely insane. And it's just like, it might take many, many, many more years. And like, that's the challenge. And it's like the product, if we could just sell it to like people directly,
You'd
we would
be
be better and they would get a better product for cheaper. But
exactly.
because it has to go through this chain of custody to the licensed dispensary,
It totally fucks you.
it like we're getting less value. They're
Yeah.
marking up so much. The
Yeah.
customer, you know what I
Is
mean?
angry about it.
Right. And so it's just like but like, it's complicated to get into all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And thankfully, there are enough, especially seniors, who are sort of like, I'm just going to go to the dispensary.
Right. And so, yes. And exactly. There's that. There's a lot of people that are willing to, that understand, and dispensaries are trying to, run as many deals as they can. And there's people that do care about tested product more and more now.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so there is that. But the one problem is like in California, there's so many cities and counties that just outright ban it. So there's no dispensaries that are licensed. So there's only going to be trap shops. And it's just like, yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
not good for anyone.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I will hit
So
you back up in early
yeah, yeah.
August.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
maybe I can come by do
Perfect.
a little tour.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Sick.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
have a
and we might
fabulous
be
day.
doing we're making more videos and stuff here too. We're trying to put out more content and everything for our YouTube.
Oh, sweet. Okay,
To just
cool.
get more like education and everything uh in general. So yeah, yeah, we're definitely about it. So
Let's, yeah, keep this up.